I want to thank you for joining me once again out here in the old dusty workshop. I'm going to be doing one small operation and documenting very intensively exactly how I do it. And today I have two katanas that I will be grinding. So I want to show you guys how I rough grind a katana. Now these are forged to shape. So I forge out of a nice piece of 1/4-inch bar. I forge the tip in. I get the curvature of the blade kind of where I want it. It's a little more curvy right now than it needs to be. It is all forged to shape. I forged in the bevels just a little bit. And now it is time to rough grind those bevels in so that I can clay it up and heat treat it. But today we're just going to be looking at how I grind those bevels. So I'm going to start with a 36 grit belt, and we are going to make a whole lot of sparks and a whole lot of dust. And before I get started, I just want to thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It always helps me to build the channel when you do that. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I want to thank you for watching, and I just want to mention real quick, the point of these videos is to do something that is not super intensive on the editing. There's not going to be any montages, there's not going to be any really crazy angles or really creative videography. What this is more so is just about the techniques that I use to make some of the blades that I make. So I'm going to get you guys set up on a tripod where you can see what I'm doing on the grinder, and then after I have ground I'm going to explain exactly what I have done. So let's make some sparks. I have my sword here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by bringing this edge close to its final thickness. And what that does is that sets up the angle that I'm going to hold the piece. And it lets me ride that angle, and I start with a pretty extreme angle. And I slowly work the bevel up the edge of the blade. Because if you start really flat, you're going to end up just flat grinding this. And I don't want to do that. This is a saber grind. So I'm going to start very exaggerated. Bring that corner in. And then I will bring the bevel up the blade. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. So I just want to take a moment to mention, just kind of explain exactly what I'm doing. I am now just bringing the grind line up closer to the spine, like it is back here. And I'm not worried about this line being perfectly straight at this point. I need to flat grind and distal taper the flats on this sword. So it's okay if it's a little wobbly. Right now what I'm doing is just establishing angles and removing material. I'm going to get this done, and then I'm going to flat grind the flats of this sword. So now the bevels have been roughed in. I'm going to take the horizontal grinder here, and I'm going to grind the flats and remove any forged marks and distal taper the blade because we're still very thick here towards the tip. So it's going to be thickest down here. It's going to slowly taper all the way to the tip. So, now that I have distal tapered and flat ground what will become the flat of the sword, it is now time to go back and regrind the primary bevel. You can see when I distal tapered it, it brought this grind line way down, which is exactly what I want. This will get all reground very straight and neatly, because now this surface is all nice and flat. It's not covered in a bunch of hammer marks. There is one little bit right here that I will continue to surface grind and grind the bevels down to where that and those go away. But we are only at 36 grit and that edge is very thick. So I'm going to be jumping back and forth now between the vertical and the horizontal grinder, get everything ground and dialed in to exactly where I want it. And just a quick note, I do not grind in the, I guess you'd call it the front bevel, the Tonto bevel, until after the heat treat. Because leaving this flat here lets me clamp this sword down after the quench to make sure it does not take on any warps. Alright, that is how I do the rough grinding on my katana style swords. And there will be a lot more grinding to do on the bevels after the heat treat. Right now I'm going to leave everything really thick, just so that we have some leeway. If there's any kind of warpage or anything like that, I can easily straighten it out, grind everything nice and flat. But that is perfect for the heat treat. Now the next thing that I'll do for this sword is I will apply the clay mixture, let that dry, and then do the heat treat. But that is going to be it for this episode. I actually have two of these swords that I will be doing together. So I have this one, and I have that one as well. But that is where I'm going to call these two. They are both ready for the clay. I want to thank you for joining me out here in the shop today for this episode. So I know it has not been a usual episode of Let's Make a Knife, which I think is okay because I'll still be doing those as well. So I'm very pleased with how this went. this all ground. I want to thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. I hope that was a pretty clear demonstration of how I grind a curved sword such as this one. There will be many other videos that I will be making, so if you have something you want to see me do, or you want to see how I do it, leave me a comment and let me know exactly what you want me to do, and I will try to make that video happen for you. So I will catch you guys in the next episode. I want to thank you one last time. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and take it easy.